Good morning, children. So, next topic is performing basic file operations. So, let us see what are basic file operations. So, in any school, each teacher has a separate cabinet, isn't it? For every teacher, they have their own cabinet to place their files. Likewise, in our computer also, we need different cabinets to place the files. So, they keep the files of different students or classes on separate shelves. Similarly, information on a computer is stored in electronic files. Like teachers store their files in different shelves, likewise computers are or store digital information in the electronic files, so which can be put into separate folders. So, it is easier to manage the electronic files as they can be simply copied, moved, renamed or even deleted. So, what are these files and folders? So, all information in a computer is kept in files. All the information in a computer is kept in files, and different types of files are stored in store different types of information. So, different types of files store different types of information. So, each file is given a file name and has a file name extension. So, each type of file is given a file name and has a file extension that identifies the file type, that is what type of file it is. So, the file name and file name extensions are separated by a period or dot. So, for example, a document. Example, Neha created using a notepad. Suppose Neha has created a document using notepad. So, notepad usually contains text files. Notepad is used to create text files. So, it will have the extension .txt. So, there are other types of like doc, XLS, etc. An image file usually have the extension JPG, that is Joint Photographers Expert Group. Then, while a sound file usually have MP3. Music files have the file extension MP3. So, a folder is a location where a group of files can be stored. So, we can store a group of files in a folder. So, how to create a file? Using a text editor in Ubuntu. So, here we can either use Windows to create a text editor. Usually, the example of a text editor is the Notepad. So, when a student Neha joins a class, the teacher creates a file on the computer to store Neha's information such as the name, address, phone number, etc. So, let us create a new file using a text editor in Ubuntu. So, we have to first, to create a file, we have to first open the text editor so that we can write the details of Neha. So, to open the text editor, we have to search for the text editor. So, type editor in the search dialog box. So, there will be a search dialog box with this symbol and you have to enter the search dialog. In the search dialog box, then double click the text editor and open this. So, this will open the text editor, and in Windows you can open Notepad and type in the text. If you are using Ubuntu, you have to open editor, and if you are using Windows, you can use Notepad. It is a text editor. So, here you can add text such as Neha Tiwari, Shakti Nagar, New Delhi, etc. So to save this click file, save. In the Save As dialog box, browse the desktop folder, type the name as Neha and click Save As. So this is the search box. So here you can search for the text editor. When the text editor comes, you can click the text editor. You can click the text editor. So here you can give your file name or what file has to be, what is the name, what name has to be given to this file. So after giving the file name, the text editor will open up and you can write here the informations what you have to write. Next is creating a folder. So folder is a location where a group of files can be stored. So we know what is a folder. Folder is a collection where group of files are stored. For example, we can create a folder where all the files for all the students can be stored. So to open the file explorer in Ubuntu, click files, then open on the left as file explorer opens up. And to create a folder, choose a location where the folder has to be created. For example, desktop. If you want to create a folder on the desktop, then right click and then choose new folder. So a new folder will be created and you can give name for that folder. So there are certain shortcut commands. This you should note it down in your notebook. These are shortcut commands. So for Control Z is used for undo, then Control Y to redo, then Control A is for select all, then Control X cut, Control C copy, Control V paste, Control P print, Control S save. Okay, so these are shortcut commands and you should learn all these shortcut commands. So which of the following shortcut key is used to paste? So which shortcut key is used to paste? So for pasting it is this is for Control C copy, Control P print, Control V paste, Control X cut. So which key is used to for paste? Control plus P. Next is, which of the following is a valid extension for Notepad? So notepads are text editors. So the file containing notepad has the extension .txt. Then what keys do you use to copy something? For copy, Control plus C. Then how is a computer file system similar to a physical file system in school? So in school, every related information is stored in a file. Details of a subject, particular subject is kept in a file. Details of students are kept in another file. Likewise, in computer, information are stored in a file. Then what are the steps you will perform to save a text in a file? To save a text in a file in Ubuntu. So in Ubuntu, how you will save your, how to save the file in your Ubuntu? That is, open the text editor, then write whatever data you have to write, then go to the file menu and then click save, and the save dialog box will appear and browse the folder where you want to save the data. Then give the name, or if you have already given the name, then click save or save as. Next is computer care and maintenance. So importance of care and maintenance. So taking care of our things, whether it is our books, clothes, furniture, or gadget is important. So, taking care of electronic device such as computer, mobiles, and mobile phones help them to work properly. So, just as we take care of our body by taking bath, brushing our teeth, and eating food every day, we need to take care of our machines. So, a computer is a delicate machine with lot of moving electronic parts. So, we need to protect it from dust and damage. So, we are careless, it will not work efficiently. So, if we are careless, our system will not work efficiently. So, computers are and mobiles are very expensive. When we take good care of them on a regular basis, we can use them for a longer time. This will help us to save money as we do not need to buy new devices too often, isn't it? Now, what are the basic tips for taking care of devices? So, if you have your electronic device, you should follow these basic tips. So, here are some simple ways that you can follow to take care of your computer. First is keeping devices clean. So, a cleaning device such as computer or mobile means to keep the screen, keyboard, and mouse clean. First is keyboard. Eat anything over a keyboard. That crumbs can damage in the internal parts of the keyboard, and you can clean a keyboard with a soft brush. Like this, you can clean the keyboards. Then screens, you can wipe the screen with a soft cloth to remove any fingerprints. Then be careful with food and drinks. That is, avoid eating or keeping glasses of water or cups of coffee near a computer. So if any liquid splits over an electronic device can spoil it. Then handle devices carefully. So handle and move your laptops carefully and avoid dropping or banging it against a hard surface. Even a short fall can damage the screen or the hard disk and make the device useless. So using a cover for laptops and mobiles, your mobile and a padded case for moving your laptop as shown, like this, can be used. Then do not cover your battery. Sometimes we keep a device plugged in for charging even after it is fully charged. So if we leave the device plugged in for a long time, it can overheat the battery, and this reduces the battery life. So always unplug the devices once it is charged 100%. So next is keep the computer cool. So if a computer or laptop or mobile devices gets overheated, the internal parts can be damaged. The CPU has an internal fan to keep it cool. So we should make sure the fan is functioning. You can also use an external fan like this. Avoid leaving a device in the sun or in a closed car. So we should be careful when using a laptop while sitting in bed and make sure that the fan is not covered. Then always plug in devices. So any device being connected to a laptop or computer such as USB drive or headphones should be done gently. It should not be forced into the port. If you find it difficult to plug in a device, change the direction and try instead of trying to force it in. Then do not run too many programs at a time. When too many programs are running at the same time, the computer can become slow and even crash. So if a program or app is not being used, it should be closed so that the other programs can run smoothly. The next is prepare a maintenance schedule. So we need to prepare a plan or a schedule for maintenance to keep the computer running in perfect condition for a long time. This can be daily maintenance, that is, clean up your email inbox. download email attachments and save in proper folder. Then weekly maintenance. Clean your keyboards, clean your monitor, dust CPU and printer. Backup your data to an external drive. Then monthly maintenance. Transfer photographs to computer and delete from drive. Then organize photos into folders or albums. Then clean up downloaded folder. Download folders. Then uninstall unused programs and apps. Run disk cleaner softwares. Then run full system virus scan. Monthly. Then yearly maintenance. Clean up contact list on social media accounts. Clean up email contact list. Update your operating system. Check for expiry of antivirus software and renew. Then back up your data. So backing up data means to save the information present on your computer on another device. Data on information present on your computer to another device such as CD, DVD or hard disk. So data can be recovered from here in case the computer stops working completely. So computers can crash, humans can make mistakes and natural disasters such as floods can happen. So it is important for companies, hospitals, banks, etc. to keep their information safe so that their business can continue to function smoothly and their customers do not face problems. Then next is scanning and cleaning viruses. Sometimes computer virus can enter a computer. From such attacks, we can install antivirus software. This will prevent any virus from entering and will always also clean any viruses that may enter our system before they affect the data. Next is increasing computer performance. So if we have been using a computer for a long time, we have lot of unnecessary files and data such as temporary files and images. So when they use too much hard disk space, the performance of the computer goes down. So it is important that we keep cleaning by removing any extra files. So we can use some disk cleaner softwares which help clean up the unnecessary files. Next is removing spam from your computer. Sometimes we get mails from companies who are advertising a product or trying to attract you to your website. Such mails are called spam mails. So we should never respond to spam and delete it on regular basis. So it is possible to set filters in the settings to prevent spam from entering our mailbox. So most email softwares have a spam folder and automatically put all such emails into this folder. So what happens if you leave a device plugged in even after it is charged 100%? So it can break or it can stop functioning or it can overheat and data get corrupt. So what happens? It can overheat. It becomes overheated and the life of the battery will be reduced. So how can an antivirus protect your device? So how can it protect your device? It can protect it from overheating. It can increase its performance. It can prevent data from getting corrupt or it can back up your data. So what is the answer? Yes, it can prevent the data from getting corrupted. Next, which option is not required to keep a device cool? So keep the device unplugged when in use. It can cool your device. Do not cover a laptop with a blanket. This also will cool your device. Make sure the computer's fan is working. If fan is working, it will keep a device cool. Then avoid leaving the device in the sun. We should not leave the device in sun. So which option is not required to keep a device cool? So based on these four cases, the most appropriate will be, based on these four cases, the most appropriate will be the first one, that is keep the device unplugged when in use. So if we are using, no need of unplugging the device. So we should check these three conditions to keep the device cool. Next is, which of the following is essential for maintaining keyboard? Turn the keyboard upside down and shake it to remove the foreign materials. Blow dust and other particles with the help of blower. Use a very dilute combination of soap and water. Apply with a non-abrasive cloth to remove stains from the key spaces. So what should we do? We should do only use a blow dust and other particles with the help of a blower. Then explain how to clean a computer on daily basis. On daily basis, what you should do? So on daily basis, you should clean up your email inbox, download email attachments and save in proper folders. So daily you should clean your inbox. Otherwise it will be very large amount of emails will be there. Then how can you increase the performance of a computer? How can you increase the performance of a complete computer? So we can increase the computer performance by we should delete the unnecessary files and data such as temporary files and images. So it is important that we should keep the disk clean, that is remove unimportant or useless or temporary files and images. So it will create extra space, or we can use disk cleaner software. So it will clean up the unnecessary files. Likewise, we can increase the performance of the computer. Next is computer security and privacy. So we store a lot of information on our computer and electronic devices. For example, we keep our photos on our mobiles. School computers store personal information regarding every student and their parents. Computers used in banks store financial information of their clients, and computers in hospital have important information about patients. So if any of this information or leaked and falls into the wrong hand, it can cause a lot of harm to the people. So for example, information stored in bank's computer gets leaked, so it can cause many people to lose a lot of money. Hence it is essential to keep computers secure and our data safe. So the term computer security deals with this security of data. So computer security deals with protecting computers. So computer security and privacy deals with the measures used to prevent loss of data. So what are the reasons for security break? Security break is a leakage of information stored in a computer. So it can be personal information can be lost or leaked in two ways. How our personal information can be leaked? They are, we are not careful in giving out personal information over the internet. For example, we share our account details and passwords on unsecure sites. A person gets unauthorized access to computer, and this can happen in office if we leave our computer without logging out. So in these two ways we can lose our information. Either we itself give the details, or a person, unauthorized person, access the details without our permission. So computer security and privacy is about measures we take to restrict access to the personal data stored in a computer. So what are the threats to computer? What threats can take place? So threats are the ways in which personal information can be leaked from a computer without knowing. So threats are the ways in which personal information can be leaked from computer without our knowledge. First one is theft. Theft means stealing of information or hardware. These may be three types. They are physical, identity, and software piracy. So physical means where a person may steal your desktop computer or laptop. A person may steal your desktop computer or laptop. Then identity, where a hacker steals your personal information and assumes your identity. Using this false identity, the hacker can gain access to your account information or perform illegal activity. Then software piracy. So this is stealing of software and includes using or distributing unlicensed and unauthorized copies of a computer program or software. Stealing of a software and includes using or distributing unlicensed and unauthorized copies. So these are the three types of theft. Next is virus. So viruses are computer programs that can damage the data and software programs or steal the information stored on a computer. So a major type of virus are worms and Trojan horses. Worms and Trojan horse. So first one is worms. So viruses are computer programs that can damage the data and software programs. They are of two types. They are worms. So worms are the viruses that replicate themselves and spread to all the files. They replicate themselves and are spread to all the files and attack a computer. This makes it very difficult to remove them. Next is a Trojan horse. Trojan horse disguises itself. That is, it appears to be a useful software program, but once it reaches a computer, it starts behaving like a virus and destroying data. So, a Trojan horse appears like a useful software program, but when it reaches our computer, it acts like destroying data. Then online predators. Online predators are people who trap you into an inappropriate relationships. They may be older people posing to be your age or bullying you into doing illegal activities online and sometimes face to face. So these are online predators. Then internet scams. Sometimes you may receive very attractive offers saying you have won a huge money in lottery and you can claim depositing a certain amount of money. So when you deposit the money using credit cards or online banking, you do not lose the you only lose the deposit money, but your card account information may be misused later. Then how to protect your data. So to protect your data from theft and viruses, we can take the following measures. That is, use passwords to log to your computer. use passwords for login to your computer, that is use strong passwords. So passwords are difficult to hack if they are a mix of small and capital letters, numbers and special symbols. So if your password contains all these, then it is very difficult to identify. So, or install antiviruses and firewalls. So antivirus and firewall monitor the data coming in and out of the computer and prevent viruses from entering. So antivirus can also detect and clean viruses that may have entered a computer. Then encrypt data. This is usually done by banks and companies in which important customer information is stored. So they can encrypt their entire hard disk using the encrypting features. In Windows, encrypting features in Windows, that is BitLocker. So this would force user to use decryption passwords before starting the computer, thus preventing unauthorized usage. The next is secure sites. So give details of your credit card or bank accounts only on secure sites. See in the bank account or in the address of the browser if the site address starts with HTTPS and a lock symbol, then it is safe to give your credit card and bank details in that websites. Next, what should you do to ensure secure online transactions? Lock your computer, give credit card or bank details only on safe websites. This is the correct answer. So, which of the following trap small children into inappropriate relations? They are online predators. Next is, what should a strong password consist of? Strong password should consist of numbers, letters, numbers and special characters. Then explain how Trojan horse works. Trojan horse is a type of virus, but what it will do, it will look like a useful software, and when we install that software on a computer, it will act like a virus and do harm to our computer. Then list the various ways you can use to protect your data. What are the different ways we can protect our data? We can either use encryption softwares. Then we can lock our computer system using passwords, then install antivirus and firewall, then use strong passwords, then use secure sites. So from these 4 methods we can protect our data. Okay, thank you children. This chapter is over.